guys, welcome to my December TBR. How are we in the last month of the year? Or at least about to be. How am I already planning for the last reading month of the year? I have no idea. Thanks to all who got really excited with me for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, which I announced earlier this week, and were very forgiving in the fact that I originally skipped an entire month of the year. Thankfully, I noticed that before I put the video up. Got that edited. Anyway, I'm really excited about everyone who is joining in with me there. If you haven't watched that video, go back and do so. But today we're going to be talking about the books I plan on reading in December. Oh yeah, and if you notice an extra plant in the background, this is the place where all the things that the kitten is getting into are coming. And some of you noticed a week or two ago, I had stuff on top of that green pot. Those were definitely metal lids to discourage him from digging in the dirt. I need to buy some rocks to put in that dirt, and then I don't know about this plant. He wants to climb it like it's a tree, and it's not. So give me suggestions for how to keep cats out of plants. In December, I'm doing something different than normal. For the first time, I'm actually going to try to spend half of the month rereading books, because I'm doing Bookmas this year, like I keep talking about. From December 1st to the 24th, I'm going to be putting up a video every day of the year. It's Bookmas. Haley in Bookland, I think is her channel, came up with this years ago, and it's different than Vlogmas, although I kind of sometimes use the terms alternating, but vlogs are actually very different than just talking about books. A vlog is more like a take you on my day kind of thing, but whatever. I'm going to use the terms interchangeably. So because I'm doing Bookmas, I decided to try to have a wrap-up of my favorite books before the end of 2022. And in order to do so, I feel like I can't read any new books in the last half of 2022. So I'm going to try just rereading books, which will be hard for me, maybe, because I generally don't super love rereading books, but I'm going to see if that will change. Or maybe I'll fail miserably and read a ton of books in the last half of December and just have to add those books onto my 2023 favorites or something. So because I'm trying to reread books, I tried to not pick a huge TBR, which is also going to be difficult because I want to read a bunch of Christmas books fairly early in December, maybe here at the beginning or the end of October. What month are we in? Do I even know my months? At the end of November. Yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep on the weekend. I'm still catching up. That's my excuse. I wanted to do a Christmas try-a chapter because I have a bunch of Christmas books out from the library that I want to read or try. But if I can't fit them in my schedule here, I might just do that for my patrons as an extra video or their December extra video because only so much time. Let's just jump into the TBR already. So one of the reading challenges that I have been doing this year is Kayla from Books and Lala's Buzzwordathon. And the prompt for December is to read a book. It's just called Numbers. So I think numbers in the title is what I'm going for. So I decided to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to be reading 1-2 Buckle My Shoe by Agatha Christie. I had a different Agatha Christie originally planned for this month, but I'm going to do this one because I also have a goal to read one Agatha Christie a month this year, and this will work for those two prompts, and possibly three, because the 2022 Read Your Bookshelf Challenge for December was to read a book with a mostly white cover. And I mean, this is more white than any other one color, I think. So this is a possibility for that prompt if I need help with that. I have a couple other options coming up here though as well. This is just a Christmas book that I want to read, or a couple short stories. I just shared this in a recent haul. This is Christmas with L.M. Montgomery, and it has 3 short stories. I know Christmas at Red Butte is one because I've read that one. A Christmas Inspiration and A Christmas Mistake are the other ones. So this whole book is only 52 pages long. So I should be able to get that in for sure. That will be part of my Christmas reads, except I don't have to try a chapter of that. Then, like I said, the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge is to read a mostly white cover. So I have this one, which is a Poirot book I don't know anything about. It says, It was shortly after his 12:30 appointment that Dr. Morley was found with a bullet through his right temple. The gun was on the floor beside him. The authorities were satisfied that the amiable old dentist had shot himself. Hercule Poirot was not, but who could have murdered him? One of Dr. Morley's glamorous patients? His hard-working partner? His secretary's disgruntled boyfriend? All Poirot has is a hunch, too many clues, and a killer who will not be satisfied with only one victim. That's actually one of the best synopsis of, there's a hair in there, an Agatha Christie book that I've ever read. Sometimes they're very gripping, but they don't tell you a whole lot, or they're just a little bit all over the place. That's actually, I'm intrigued. So that's that one's vote. So that's an option. Then this is the most suggested book that I read. I think one of the most anyway, and that's At Home in Mitford. I actually read up to page 10, I think, in October. And I don't know, I just wasn't super hooked. I'm definitely giving it more of a try than 10 pages though. So this is kind of not necessarily exactly white. It's a little bit of a very, very light blue gray, but I'm counting this as an option. My challenge, I get to bend the rules a little bit, right? Although I always tell people that they can too. And then my third option, which I would also really like to read, also isn't mostly white. The Imaginarium. This is by Samara Reisner, and she sent this book to me a few months ago, and it sounds so good. So it's, I think it's like, I can't remember if it has any science fiction elements or if it's just more like a thriller type thing. So it's Paul and Jane Clark live the ideal life, working together, roasting coffee and running a small bakery along with raising their 5-year-old daughter. They thought they had it all. On a day like any other, Paul drops off his daughter at school, heads to work. Tragedy strikes the small town when a mass shooting took out the only kindergarten class of the town. There were no survivors. They learn to cope and cling to Jesus to the helm and try their best to hold each other up. But what if the children hadn't been killed, but taken? Lily and the other 19 children have been taken to the Imaginarium, where Lily does all she can to escape the walls that continue to close in around her. So this sounds amazing. So, like, it's got a whitish cover and it covers a lot of it. And this one we follow I don't think he's a priest, but his father Tim, a bachelor rector who, I don't know, is in this small town, and it's supposed to have cozy vibes, and it sounds like a good read. It's the beginning of a series. So I have some really good options for a white cover, I feel like. Plus I have a reread option that also has a white cover. So I'm gonna mood read that prompt in the month of December, and we'll see what I end up picking up. Then I have 3 books here that I would really like to read in December, and we'll see what works, but these are the 3. The first one I just hauled is The Gilded Girl. This is a Little Princess retelling. Yes, and I have not read the back of the book, but I shared this cover because it's adorable. I love the illustrations. I love the cat. I really want to reread this. Not reread, just read it. I've never read it. Then one that I would like to finish before the end of this year, because I'd hoped to finish it in like October already, is Calamity. This is the 3rd book in the Reckoners trilogy by Sanderson. It's a science fiction series about superheroes, and I read book 1 in August, book 2 in September, and want to finish this so I can read a different series of his. Plus he's got like extra books coming out in January. He's starting to release his secret project books where, you know, he just like happened to write a number of extra books during COVID. Some of us weren't quite so productive, but I'm getting those too. So I have a lot of Sanderson to read. So I would like to read that. There's also Maudmas going on during the month of December. Amy from Hearthridge is doing a like Lucy Maud Montgomery and a Maud Hart Lovelace readathon, which I'm not officially joining in on, but I do have some Ella Montgomery here, and I would really like to read Magic from Marigold because I picked this out from a little free library a while ago and really want to read it. The cover is dirty. That's a little free library issue. But once again, we got a little girl with a black cat, so apparently that's just a bit of a theme going on with my books for this month. So there's those. This is not counting any like other Christmas books other than the short stories. A Christmas book I would like to read this year I have on Kindle is Tarnished Silver. I'm going to pull up the synopsis for this. So this is by Shatona Havig. I read Christmas Stockings by her last year and it was hilarious, and so I kind of set myself a goal to read one of her Christmas books each year because I know she has more of them. Also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, almost all her books are on there. So Tarnished Silver, this one is Audrey Seaver, owner of Fairbury's favorite sweet shop, has kept one secret for 25 years. Given her choice, she'd take the secret to the grave. Even more, she's convinced she has that right. After all, even the commercials say it, what happens in Vegas. With Christmas coming, Audrey's buried in new ice cream flavors, bonbons, pies, breads, cakes, and other tempting treats. She hardly has time to sleep, much less do things like cook for herself, clean up after herself, or do any holiday decorating. Enter Kelly Clocks. It was just supposed to be a simple trade, a little decorating and a light Christmas housekeeping in exchange for a few Christmas treats. Neither of them had any idea she'd run across that oh so carefully guarded secret. Okay, I'm not going to read anymore. What I have loved about her books is they're Christian fiction, and she always has like witty characters and some humor in there that I love. Christmas Stockings was about this like lady who is cat obsessed, but she thinks that somebody is breaking into her home and like just slightly moving things, and everyone, even the police, just think she's like a crazy cat lady. And I just loved the acknowledgement of how like she was so weird to have so many cats, but it was so funny. So I've really enjoyed her books, and that is going to be my Christmas one for this year. Okay, so then other than other books I might read, Christmas books depending what catches my attention for the tri-chapter, I have 2 books for sure that I want to reread. The first one is A Little Princess. So I think this would be fun to reread after I read A Gilded Girl and then reread the original. This is by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and I grew up watching the 1995 movie and I love it. It's like the Shirley Temple movie. I'm sorry you guys, it's so cringy. I didn't get very far into it, but the 1995 one just does it perfectly. It has a different ending than the actual book. I like the movie ending better, but it's okay. I still do love the book. So I want to reread this. Another book I've been talking about rereading for a long time is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I think I only give this book like 3 stars maybe when I read it originally, because I just was expecting something different. But this is a book that has stuck with me so much. I have thought about this so much since I read it that in my mind it has been bumped up to a 5-star book. And now I want to reread it and see how I feel about it, knowing what's coming. I think that will be interesting. And so obviously, if this is all I'm doing for the last half of the month, I will probably end up rereading more books or reading more books. But currently these are the 2 that like really jumped out at me. And this will leave some time for like either mood reading, or I've kind of been tempted to like not allow myself to read for an entire week and just see how I spend my time, how if that fuels interest in reading more, or I don't know, I'm curious to do that experiment, but I don't really want to because I enjoy reading at the same time. But if I can't find other books to reread, maybe I'll just give it a try. Let me know what you plan on reading for the month of December, especially Christmas book ideas. Actually, that stack right there on my fireplace right now is a stack of Christmas books I have out from the library right now. I'm picking up more from the library right away, and so it will be bigger. I'm probably going to do maybe like a 7 to 10 book try a chapter, which the more I'm thinking about the timing, the more I'm thinking that's just gonna have to go onto Patreon. So if you guys are interested in that, you can join my Patreon. I have some fun things coming there. I'm going to be talking about more during one of the videos for Bookmas. So, okay, I'll wind this down. I'm excited to like end the year well with some good reading. Let me know if you think I'm going to enjoy any of these books, and I'll chat with you guys soon.